The movie starts with Alicia trapped in a coffin, crying loudly for help, but no one can hear her. 2 days earlier, after finishing work, her friend Joe tells her there's been a system error, so her paycheck will be delayed. Alicia had recently moved to the town and changed her name, which might be why. Joe wonders why she changed her name, but Alicia jokes about it and doesn't explain. Joe offers her money to help, but Alicia smiles and refuses, not wanting to share her past. Alicia isn't in a relationship, and Joe knows a nice man in her family who's looking to remarry. She suggests that Alicia go on a date with him that night, but Alicia doesn't answer and says she has to pick up her son Malcolm because she's running late. Meanwhile, Dog is working in his garage when Victor, who was supposed to serve 15 years in prison, shows up. He got out early after just 8 years for good behavior. Victor sees that Dog is living well and grabs a golf club, accusing him of keeping all the money from their robbery. Dog tries to calm him down, but Victor notices a new truck outside and changes his approach. Alicia goes to pick up Malcolm, but he's not there and isn't answering his phone. She talks to her sister Camlin, who tells her not to worry, thinking Malcolm is playing with friends. Alicia later finds Malcolm a few blocks away and scolds him and his friends for playing in a dirty area, then takes him home. Back at Dog's house, Victor steals expensive jewelry belonging to Dog's wife. Dog begs him to leave a diamond bracelet, but Victor refuses, saying he kept quiet for years and deserves the valuables. Victor then leaves with the jewelry and Dog's truck. On the way home, Alicia scolds Malcolm for not answering her calls, saying it embarrasses her when he doesn't respond. Malcolm explains that he turned off his phone because her constant calling embarrasses him in front of his friends. He points out that his friends are allowed to go places alone, but Alicia reminds him that his dad abandoned them, so she has to be extra cautious. Victor, secretly following them, approaches when they stop the car. At the same time, Alicia gives Malcolm new sneakers as an apology for their earlier fight, but when he looks inside he finds a tracking device. Furious, Malcolm accuses Alicia of not trusting him, but she insists it's for his safety. Malcolm throws the sneakers aside in anger. The next day, Joe notices that Alicia seems tense and teases her, saying it's because she hasn't been in a relationship for a while. Joe also reminds her about the date with her cousin, but Alicia still isn't ready. Later, Malcolm is playing basketball with his friends when Victor approaches him, showing him a family photo from years ago. He reveals that he is Malcolm's father. Overjoyed, Malcolm takes him home. When Alicia comes home, she's shocked to find Victor happily playing video games with Malcolm. She excuses herself to the kitchen to process the situation, but Victor follows her. He assures her he's changed and that prison made him a better man. Alicia is skeptical, especially after hearing how he found her by stealing Camlin's phone. She is terrified but plays along when Victor insists they go to dinner. At dinner, Victor reminisces about their past, reminding Alicia of how attractive she was when they first met, though she was only 16 at the time. He then thanks her for raising Malcolm into a fine young man. He even brings up the time he put a knife to her throat, a moment Alicia will never forget. Despite his promises of change, Alicia knows she's still in danger. After dinner, Victor drops Alicia and Malcolm off at home. He suggests staying over, but Alicia convinces him they should take things slow, though she's secretly terrified. As soon as he leaves, she tells Malcolm to pack his things because they're running away. Malcolm argues, not believing his father would hurt them, but Alicia insists. As they're about to leave, Victor returns, suspicious that Alicia would try to escape. He forces her to go on a drive, threatening to hurt her if she refuses, and she remains silent when he asks where they are going. She tells him that they will discuss how things will work out between them. Victor puts Malcolm in the car and drives away. He stops at a hotel room and tortures her for lying about meeting him tomorrow while she was trying to run away. He threatens her, saying it will be her last chance if she deceives him again. Victor reveals that he received medication and therapy in jail and claims he is now a changed man, but he becomes furious when he remembers Alicia was the one who told the police about him. He fights the urge to hit her and threatens that he can do anything if she ever tries to escape with her son. "I promise you," he says. "I just kidnapped you, and you're mine. You are my wife. You belong to me." In that moment, Alicia grabs a knife and stabs Victor's arm. It doesn't hurt him much, and he quickly ties her arms before leaving to get something outside. As he throws her suitcase, he notices a wooden box. After a while, Victor returns to Malcolm and asks for the phone, then throws it away, grabs a shovel, and walks off. Meanwhile, Camlin is trying to reach Alicia. Victor returns to the hotel room and tells Alicia he's taking her away somewhere. In a fit of anger, he holds a knife to her neck, but when he looks away, Alicia opens the car door and jumps out. She tries to run, but Victor catches her quickly, ties her hands again, and starts digging a hole the size of a wooden coffin. After placing the coffin inside, he tells Alicia to get out of the car. He says he felt left out and buried in jail, and now he'll actually bury her alive in the coffin. Victor puts her in the coffin and, despite her cries and pleas, nails it shut and covers it with soil. Alicia tries to hear voices outside, but it seems she is alone, helpless, and that Victor is gone. No one hears her shouts for help. Meanwhile, heavy rain begins to fall, and Victor stops his truck in front of another truck blocking his way. An old man appears and points a gun at Victor, accusing him of trespassing. Victor cunningly grabs a hammer and hits the old man, then stabs him several times until he's dead. Inside the coffin, Alicia uses a small light from her keychain to look around. Meanwhile, Camlin reaches Malcolm and urges him to leave with her, as his father is dangerous and could soon hurt him. Victor returns to the hotel room and searches for a bracelet he gave Alicia, which he finds in a drawer. He tells Malcolm to get ready to go. Malcolm tries to bring Camlin back to consciousness, but she remains unconscious. He asks his dad if he can wear shoes since it's raining, and he puts on the new shoes with a tracker. At the same time, Alicia searches for a weak spot in the coffin, scratching at it with her keychain. Camlin regains consciousness and calls for Alicia, but Victor has her phone. Joe is also texting Alicia, but an annoyed Victor tells Malcolm to send a rude response to Alicia's friend. Alicia breaks through the wooden coffin, getting her fingers out as she digs herself free. At the same time, Malcolm tells Victor he's hungry, so they stop at a restaurant. Malcolm starts coloring with crayons, but he writes "Help me" on the back of the paper while Victor isn't looking. Unfortunately, Victor catches him before he can give it to the waitress. Alicia manages to clear most of the dirt and pulls herself out of the grave. She finds an old truck and drives to Joe's house, the closest place nearby. Joe is shocked to see her and scared when he hears what she's been through. Alicia grabs Joe's phone and calls her own number, and Victor, surprised, answers. He's shocked that she escaped the coffin. Alicia asks to hear Malcolm's voice to make sure he's okay. Malcolm quickly says he's fine and mentions he's wearing the shoes she gave him. Victor hangs up the call. Alicia realizes she can track Malcolm through the shoes, which have a tracker in them. She turns on Joe's computer and finds his location. When Joe comes back with a first aid kit, Alicia is already gone, leaving the computer behind with Malcolm's location on the screen. Joe calls the police, saying his friend is in danger. Alicia reaches the location from the tracker, but Victor has already figured it out and thrown the shoes away. He ties Malcolm up, and when Alicia arrives, they fight. Alicia grabs a knife from Victor's pocket, stabs him, and runs. Victor chases her with a gun, but Alicia twists her ankle and limps toward a nearby church. She locks herself inside just before Victor catches up. Alicia tries to call the police, but Victor shoots through the window and gets inside. She hides behind a table, but a small noise gives her away. Victor sees her and points his gun, but it's out of bullets. Meanwhile, Malcolm frees himself with car keys and runs to find his mom. The police arrive and surround the church, telling Victor to come out with his hands up. Victor steps out with the gun and the police shoot him. Alicia hugs her son, crying with relief. A few months later, Alicia is getting ready for a date, feeling happy to meet the man Joe has been telling her about. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.